Today, I am going to discuss about another important chapter in plant physiology, that is respiration in plants. As usual, today I will complete the important points regarding respiration up to Krebs cycle, and the remaining part tomorrow. Respiration in plants. That is cellular respiration. Cellular respiration. Respiration occurs in all living cells except viruses. Viruses are acellular or non-cellular. They do not have any metabolic system, right? The first organisms are supposed to be formed on this earth are anaerobes, right? Anaerobes. Because by the time the earth is formed, no oxygen is available, therefore the organisms are anaerobic. The first aerobic organisms that are supposed to be formed on this earth are blue-green algae, now called cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria. In respiration, oxidation of food material takes place. With the liberation of energy, that energy is stored in the form of ATP. That energy is stored in the form of ATP, right? ATP means adenosine triphosphate, commonly called energy currency or cell currency. During respiration, what bonds are broken down? CC bonds. During respiration, CC bonds present in the food material break down with the liberation of energy. And remember, all the energy that is liberated during oxidation process is not utilized. Most of the energy is lost in the form of heat. Most of the energy is lost in the form of heat energy. And in respiration, energy is not liberated at once. It is liberated in stepwise manner. It is liberated in stepwise manner. But in combustion, the energy is liberated at once in a single step. Right. Okay, along with animals, plants are also respire, right? Plants respire, animals respire. In animals, for respiration, there are specialized respiratory organs called lungs. Do you find respiratory organs in plants? Is it respiratory organs are compulsory, inevitable for respiration? No. For respiration, respiratory organs are not required. There are no respiratory organs in plants. However, they undergo respiration. The equivalent structures that are useful in respiration in plants are stomata and lenticels. The structures which are useful for respiration in plants are stomata and lenticels. If you compare animal respiration and plant respiration, rate of respiration is more in animals. rather than in plants. Respiration, comparatively with animals, it is very easy in case of plants because all parts of the plant body almost are exposed to the environment, and the gases are not needed to transport for longer distances. Every part of the plant body can manage its own respiration, and during respiration oxygen is during photosynthesis, oxygen is produced. Some of that oxygen during transport can be utilized by the cells for respiration. Because of all these facilities, it is very easy comparatively the respiration in plants when compared with the animals, right? How many types of respirations are there? Two types. One is anaerobic respiration and second one aerobic respiration, right? The respiration which occurs in the absence of oxygen, anaerobic respiration. In the presence of oxygen, aerobic respiration. Here four terms you should remember. Obligate anaerobe, facultative anaerobe, obligate aerobe, facultative aerobe. Those four words are very important. Try to discriminate one from the other. Obligate anaerobe. Basically it is aerobe. It is anaerobe, sorry. Basically it is anaerobe. It can survive only in the absence of oxygen. If oxygen enters, it will die. Then facultative anaerobe. Basically it is anaerobe. It can survive even in the presence of oxygen for some time. Then what is obligate aerobe? Basically it is aerobe. It can survive only in the presence of oxygen. It cannot survive in the absence of oxygen. What is facultative aerobe? It is basically aerobe and it can survive even in the absence of oxygen for some time. So these four are very important. Then, how many steps are there in anaerobic respiration? 2. Glycolysis and fermentation. Glycolysis and fermentation. Number of steps in aerobic respiration, 4 steps, namely glycolysis, link reaction, Krebs cycle, and electron transport system, that is ETS. Sometimes this is merged with this one and call it as Krebs cycle. But clearly there are 4. Number of steps in anaerobic respiration, 2. Glycolysis, fermentation. Number of steps in aerobic respiration, 4. Glycolysis, link reaction, Krebs cycle, and electron transport system. That's all. Now, the first step in both the respirations is glycolysis. That is why glycolysis is a common pathway for both. That means glycolysis is a common step for both aerobic respiration and also anaerobic respiration. Right. Glycolysis, nothing but splitting of sweet substance. Glycolysis is also called EMP pathway. Glycolysis is also known as EMP pathway because 3 German scientists, namely Embeden, Meyerhoff, and Parnas, traced out all the reactions involved in glycolysis. That is why the cycle is also called EMP pathway. Right? All the reactions of glycolysis, whether it occurs in anaerobic or aerobic, occurs in the cytoplasm or cytosol. Cytoplasm or cytosol. Right. What is the substrate for glycolysis? Glucose or fructose? Substrate of glycolysis, glucose or fructose. In plants, the end product of photosynthesis is sucrose. Now this sucrose split into glucose and fructose. Sucrose is a disaccharide. This disaccharide split into glucose and fructose by an enzyme called invertase. What is the name of that enzyme? Invertase. Now, this glucose or fructose ultimately split into two molecules of pyruvic acid. Substrate of glycolysis, glucose. End product of glycolysis, two molecules of pyruvic acid. Number of carbons in glucose or fructose, 6 carbons. Number of carbons in pyruvic acid, 3 carbons. Therefore, one 6-carbon compound split into two 3-carbon compounds. During this conversion, at two places, ATP are consumed. That means in the first step and in the third step, ATP is consumed. In the two steps, ATP is formed, that is in the 7th reaction and 10th reaction, ATP are formed. That is called SLP, you call it as substrate level phosphorylation. In glycolysis, totally 2 substrate level phosphorylations occur. Each substrate level phosphorylation form 2 ATP. Therefore, totally 4 ATP are formed in glycolysis, but 2 ATP are consumed. Therefore, net gain of ATP is 2 ATP. Net gain of ATP are 2 ATP. Right? So number of ATP produced in glycolysis, take it as 2 because net gain you have to tell. Then how many oxidations occurs in glycolysis? 1 oxidation. Because of that oxidation, 2 NADH are formed. Number of NADH formed, 2 NADH. Each oxidation produces 2 NADH. Right. Now, the 2 NADH, if pyruvic acid enters into anaerobic respiration or undergo oxidation, again it becomes NAD+. But if these NADH enters into aerobic respiration, finally in the ETS, each one produces ATP, 3 ATP. Therefore, 2 into 3, 6 ATP. That is totally 6 plus 2, 8 ATP are produced if pyruvic acid enters into aerobic respiration. If pyruvic acid does not enter into the aerobic respiration and it enters into the fermentation, here no ATP are formed. These are reduced here, that is they are oxidized again back into the NAD+. So that means number of ATP in anaerobic respiration means 2 only. Anaerobic respiration. But from all sources in aerobic respiration through glycolysis, we may get 8. But directly 2, indirectly when this enters in aerobic respiration, in the ETS it produces 6, totally this. But question asked like this, how many ATP are formed in glycolysis? Simply only 2 you have to write. Now, fermentation. Fermentation is an anaerobic reaction. And fermentation commonly seen in some prokaryotes and some unicellular eukaryotes and also germinating seeds. fermentation is seen in prokaryotes, unicellular eukaryotes like yeast, and also germinating seeds. There are two types of fermentations, you know. One is alcohol fermentation. Second one is lactic acid fermentation, right? Alcohol fermentation, the end products is ethyl alcohol plus carbon dioxide. In lactic acid fermentation, only lactic acid is produced. So one important point here you should remember, in the lactic acid fermentation, carbon dioxide is not produced. Very important point. During lactic acid fermentation, 3-carbon pyruvic acid is converted into 3-carbon lactic acid. But during alcohol fermentation, by the involvement of yeast, alcohol is converted into, the pyruvic acid is converted into ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide. Right? So, in alcoholic fermentation, CO2 is liberated. In lactic acid fermentation, CO2 is not liberated. Right? In lactic acid fermentation, lactobacillus species are involved. In alcohol fermentation, yeasts are involved. Yeast can tolerate only up to 13% alcohol. You know that. Even in human beings, during oxygen lacking conditions, in the human skeletal muscles, lactic acid fermentation occurs. Right. So that is about the fermentation. Now we come to here, link reaction. The pyruvic acid, if oxygen is available, it enters into link reaction. In the link reaction, 2 molecules of pyruvic acid converted into 2 molecules of acetyl coenzyme A, right? This is a 3-carbon compound. This is a 2-carbon compound. Here, 2 molecules of carbon dioxide are liberated. So actually, the link reaction is known as oxidative decarboxylation of pyruvic acid. That means oxidation occur, decarboxylation occur. Already decarboxylation occur. 2 carbon dioxide molecules are liberated, one from each pyruvic acid. Therefore, what 3-carbon compound become 2-carbon compound. Plus 2 NADH are generated. 2 NADH are produced in link reaction. Link reaction along with Krebs cycle takes place in matrix of mitochondria. What is the site of link reaction? Matrix of mitochondria. Krebs cycle, mitochondrial matrix. Now, no ATP directly produced in link reaction. The end product of link reaction, acetyl coenzyme A. Substrate of link reaction, pyruvic acid. Now this acetyl coenzyme A connect glycolysis and Krebs cycle. Therefore, acetyl coenzyme A is known as connecting link between glycolysis and Krebs cycle. Acetyl coenzyme A is known as connecting link between glycolysis and Krebs cycle. Right. Now, 2 NADH are generated. These NADH enters into the ETS where it synthesizes ATP, and each NADH produces 3 ATP. Therefore, 2 into 3, 6 ATP indirectly produced here, right? Now, the next one is Krebs cycle. Why it is called Krebs cycle? Because Sir Hans Krebs traced out all the reactions. That is why it is known as Krebs cycle. What are the other synonyms of Krebs cycle? Citric acid cycle, because the first stable product formed in this cycle is citric acid. That is why It is also called citric acid cycle. Second one, it is also called TCA cycle. Try to remember. TCA cycle means tricarboxylic acid cycle. The first 4 organic acids, namely citric acid, cis-aconitic acid, isocitric acid, and oxalosuccinic acid. These 4 acids are tricarboxylic acids. That is why the cycle is also called TCA cycle. Similarly, in the Krebs cycle, several intermediates formed are organic acids. That is why the cycle is also called organic acid cycle. I told you 4 names: Krebs cycle, citric acid cycle, TCA cycle, and organic acid cycle. All are same. And now the starting compound for Krebs cycle is acetyl coenzyme A, right? This is accepted by OAA and form citric acid. Here, very important point. Acceptor of acetyl coenzyme A in Krebs cycle, OAA, oxaloacetic acid. The starting compound of Krebs cycle, oxaloacetic acid, a 4-carbon compound. This 4-carbon compound combined with 2-carbon acetyl CoA and form 6-carbon citric acid. 6-carbon compound called citric acid. And one point you should remember, Krebs cycle is a cyclic pathway, right? Krebs cycle is a cyclic pathway because this is the acceptor of acetyl CoA. Once again, it has to accept one more acetyl coenzyme. Therefore, the OAA must be regenerated. So, the starting compound and ending compound must be the same. Therefore, this is known as cyclic pathway. In order to complete the cycle, how many times it occurs? 2 times. Yesterday I told you, no, for formation of 1 glucose, how many Kelvin cycles must occur? 6 Kelvin cycle can form 1 glucose. Similarly, for completion of this one, how many times the cycle must occur? 2 times, because 2 acetyl coenzymes are formed at the end of link reaction. You know, for each acetyl coenzyme A accepted by 1 OAA and continue the cycle. Again, one more combine and continue the cycle. That means the cycle is completed for 2 turns. For 2 turns of Krebs cycle is completed. Okay, right. Then at the end of Krebs cycle, carbon dioxide plus water are formed, right? End products of Krebs cycle. The glucose is completely break down with the liberation of carbon dioxide and water. In the several intermediate compounds are produced. Totally here, one thing you should remember. In Krebs cycle, totally 4 oxidations occur. Overall, in aerobic respiration, 6 oxidations occur. Already I told you 2. One in glycolysis, second one is in link reaction. The remaining 4 reactions occurs in Krebs cycle. So 4 oxidations. 3 oxidations resulting in the formation of 6NADH2 and 1 oxidation resulting in the formation of 2FADH2. Along with that, 1 SLP reaction also occur in Krebs cycle. What is SLP? Substrate level phosphorylation. I told you in glycolysis, 2 substrate level phosphorylations occurs. Each SLP are 2 ADP, 2 SLPs 4 ATP. Here 1 SLP occur. First 2 GTP are formed. The GTP are converted into 2 ATP, right? So directly, how many ATP are generated? 2 ATP. Along with that here, 3 oxidations resulting in the formation of 6 NADH, 1 oxidation, 2 FADH2 are generated. Along with that, directly 2 GTP are produced. 2 GTP are produced. And that is directly utilized, of course, directly utilized. And these NADH, this one, and also this one, enters into electron transport system and finally synthesizes the remaining ATP. Out of 38 ATP, only 4 ATP are directly produced. The remaining ATP are produced from these NADH and FADH2 through electron transport system. That's all. And finally here, during the Krebs cycle, in the Krebs cycle, only one 5-carbon compound is generated. Generally 6 carbon compounds are there, 4 carbon compounds are there in Krebs cycle. But one and only 5 carbon compound is produced in Krebs cycle, that is called as alpha ketoglutaric acid. In shortcut, you call it as alpha KGA. Alpha KGA, alpha ketoglutaric acid. This is the only 5-carbon compound formed in Krebs cycle. And this acts as a substrate for synthesis of several amino acids. That is the reason why Krebs cycle is known as amphibolic pathway. Krebs cycle is known as amphibolic pathway because here not only catabolism but also anabolism occurs. Not only breakdown reactions but also synthesis reactions takes place. For example, traditionally we are considered as this is a catabolic pathway, but truly speaking, the intermediates of Krebs cycle such as alpha ketoglutaric acid act as a substrate for synthesis of several amino acids. That is why it is rightly called as the Krebs cycle is a amphibolic pathway. So that is about today's class, and tomorrow we continue. Thank you one and all.